This episode of On the Line is presented to you by Living.fit, your one stop for all your fitness needs. Make sure you go download the app Living.fit today. Now here's the show. Welcome to On the Line. Today is Tuesday, March 15th. We got a great show for you guys. We got Jack Shore on the program, but first and foremost, if you're listening on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, Deezer, Stitcher, or any other podcasting platform, hit that follow. We appreciate it. Maybe leave a review. That'd be cool too. But anyway, great show with Jack Shore. Talk about his upcoming fight. Talk about UFC London. All that kind of stuff. Great conversation. Catching up with him. One of my favorites to have on the show. Once we get done with that, we give a quick recap of UFC Vegas 50. Give our performance bonuses, fight of the nights, all that hoopla. And then we talk a little bit of other stuff MMA related. But then end the show with March Madness. If you don't know how to fill out a bracket in part of a bracket challenge, anything like that, I'll walk you through it. Like, I'm a resident of Indiana, as I say like 1,000 other times throughout the March Madness segment. But for real though, like I know college basketball. Like, I live and breathe it. If you need help, listen to what I have to say, or just hit me up for questions too. Like, I'll let you guys know. But anyway. Without further ado, here's Jack Shore. We are joined by a very special guest. He is friend of the program and prospect of the year in 2021. It is Jack Shore. Jack, my man, how are you doing?
Very good, man. Very, very good. How are you?
We're doing great. So at the moment of this recording, you're fighting Timur Valiev, but we don't know if that's actually be the case. We've had a couple pullouts before, so just at the moment, you are fighting Timur. Currently, you are fighting him. But before we get into all that, I gotta ask, Bellator Dublin, your boy Brett Johns gets the big dub. Shore MMA, big win. How are we feeling after all that? You got to be pumped after that electricity in the crowd.
Yeah, man. Great weekend for the team. Brett, he last fought back in, I believe it was May last year. Didn't get the result that he wanted or that we knew that he was capable of. So to see him go out there and display the level that he's actually at, to take out an undefeated fighter and absolutely dominate from start to finish and then take him out in the third round. It was great as a teammate and as a friend to watch him get what he deserves.
Why weren't you there? Why weren't you in the crowd? Or at least in the corner.
Fight camp. Blaming fight camp. I really did want to go. But obviously with my father being Brett's coach and Carl, our other head coach, I had to go out and corner with him. I had to take the reins on the gym for a couple of days to make sure that the boys with fights coming up didn't skive off and take a few days rest. So we'll blame them for that one.
Now we'll blame that. So you're the big boss for a couple of days, but like this might sound weird. I don't know what it is about these crowds in the UK, but there's always electric. They're always there's something about them. What is it that makes them so much different than like an American crowd? In your opinion,
I think personally, it's the UK crowd is almost as if they have like a personal attachment to the fighter. A lot of the times, you see the American crowd, especially in Vegas, and they may not turn up till the main card or they're there. It's a little bit like a boxing show in terms of everyone's there for the main event. They're not so really concerned with the undercard. Whereas, we don't get as many big shows in the UK as you guys do in the US. Like we get Dublin maybe once or twice a year with Bellator. We get obviously London. That's my dog kicking off.
Yeah, I know.
Every time. Yeah, I mean we get like London once a year in the UK and a couple of European shows. But I think where a lot of the fans in the UK, they sort of watch these fighters come up from the grassroots to your Cage Warriors, to your through your domestic shows, and then to see them move on to bigger things like Bellator and UFC. They almost feel personally attached. They feel they got a duty almost to go and make some noise for their fighter and support their guy. And it definitely feels that when you're fighting. When you fight in the UK, you feel like it's a lot more of the atmosphere's a lot more on top of you. You feel like the crowd's in there with you, whereas sometimes you don't always get that. I mean, I've never really fought on a big crowd show in the US yet, but it feels as if the UK show, the atmospheres always seem to be. You could have the weakest fight card you could imagine, but you chuck that in London or Dublin, and the atmosphere is still going to be through the roof. And I think that's the difference with the UK. Maybe it's because we don't get as many shows as you guys do, obviously, in the US.
I think it also, even the Cage Warrior shows, I always thought those crowds were just awesome. It's like, I would go back and watch some, obviously guys like you and other guys that we've talked to and just guys I'm fans of. I'd go back and watch a Cage Warrior show, and the crowds are just always awesome. Like it's one of those things where like in the States, we every now and then you'll have those kind of moments, but I don't think there's anything like it in combat sports and you get a crowd just completely into the moment. It's just you can't replicate it.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, like even watching, just speaking on Brett on the weekend, watching him, and even through the TV, you could hear the atmosphere of the crowd. And when he got the victory, you could hear the crowd go off. And same with all the Irish fighters. And it's almost like it's like a day out kind of thing, like a bank holiday for us. You know, like everyone when there's a fight night. I know, speaking personally from when I was fighting on Cage Wars, like my friends, I wouldn't fight till like 10, 11 p.m. in the night. Like 11 a.m. in the morning, they're out on it, ready. You know, they're drinking, they're partying, they're looking for places to go that early in the day. So they really do enjoy the fight night feel. And again, it's something that can't really be replicated. I mean, there are obviously big shows in America where you get these ecstatic crowds, but especially places like Dublin and London and Cardiff, you just don't seem to find an atmosphere that matches it.
And now you get to do that again here in a couple weeks or a week, whenever this is released. You get to do that again here in London. So, like, when are you going to go to London? Are you going to go that Tuesday, kind of like a normal old feel like it was back in the Cage Warriors days?
Yeah, so I think we haven't had the itinerary or nothing yet, but usually I know the UFC like to have you at the fight hotel by the Tuesday at the latest. So I mean, London's only like a 2-3 hour drive for me, so it'll be a case probably of training at the gym at home Tuesday morning, jump in the car and make our way up. So it'll be nice because my last 2 fights were out in Vegas and I went 10 or 11 days early to acclimatise. So it felt like, you know what, I mean, even at 10 days out, it's as if when you're away from home, it's as if that fight week is on you then, and it's like a drawn out process. Whereas this one, I mean, it'll be nice to get there. I mean, we sleep Tuesday and Wednesday night. By the time we cut weight Thursday, it's weigh-in day and then obviously on to fight day. So it'll come and go in the blink of an eye, no doubt. And that's something I'm looking forward to too. You know, the comfort of being able to stay home with the missus and the dogs until very close to the fight is just going to make that fight week a little bit easier. You know, it's never heaven a fight week. You know, with the weight cut and you're cutting your food back, you sweat and you're trying to get the weight off. So it's never, you know, an ecstatic week, but to make it, you know, a little bit more bearable is going to be nice. And I mean, even before the last 2, the fight I had in Fight Island was the same. We had to go like 10 days early and quarantine and everything. So it's going to be nice to keep fight week short and sharp this time. I think it'll be a lot more enjoyable and it won't feel so drawn out.
Do you guys have to still do all the quarantining stuff, like when you get to the hotel now, or is that kind of like nicked?
Yeah, I think it's actually nicked now for the UK. So even in Vegas last time, although like, you know, everything was back open and they had a little bit of a crowd in the Apex, we still had to do a day or half a day quarantine until we had our test results. We started to do tests to go, which is none of that now. I don't think in London. I don't even think we need to do. I may be wrong. I know we haven't got to isolate. Maybe we have got to do a test on arrival, but I'm pretty sure that it's just like, you know, like I say old school, like a fight week 2 years ago before all the madness started. So that's something I'm looking forward to as well, because like fight week can be so drawn out, especially when you're stuck in a hotel room. Like you got your 2 hours a day where you train, and a lot of the rest of the time you're spent stuck in the hotel room watching some shit on YouTube. Whereas, you know, to be able to go for a little walk or you and the team just make your way about London a little bit. It'll just make it that little bit more enjoyable.
What was your go-to YouTube video? Like, what was the go-to? Like, were you just looking at like Call of Duty videos, or like, what was your go-to?
It's usually like fight week, especially. It's like obviously you got the classic food videos, like watching people eat piggish amounts of food, 10,000 calorie challenges, and
just pissing yourself off the entire time. Like, Dad, I wish I could eat like that right now.
Yeah, that's it. But to be honest, like the last couple of fights, I've been watching a lot of old school fight stuff, like the Gracies. I remember last fight week I watched Hickson Gracie's Choke documentary. Then I ended up watching the Renzo Gracie documentary. Then me and my old man were watching all the old Pride fights and UFC 1 and UFC 2. So it tends to be like that old school warrior stuff, you know, like the stripping everything back when he was bare knuckle and no time limit, and the Gracies just turn up to a gym for a fight, or Renzo training for 6 weeks to go and fight some crazy fucker in Brazil that he's never heard of. Like that's the type of stuff I like to watch fight week. Stuff that can help, you know, take your mind off the fight a little bit, but still makes you appreciate like what we actually do and sort of get you in that zone ready for obviously ultimately comes on the Saturday.
Exactly, and let's get into that fight. Let's get into more. So obviously, the first fight originally was another Nurmagomedov, and for the second straight time, they pulled out again. At least this time, it was like maybe a week or so, and then they pulled out. It really wasn't that long. Were you aware of it for that much longer, or was it like you guys signed the contract, and then what was it, like a week or two later, he pulled out, and then you got Timur?
Yeah, it was literally that. I think we signed the contract. So I signed the contract quite early because it was initially scheduled for February, the end of February, and so I signed the contract. It would have been back, I'm assuming, in like November. Then obviously the London card got announced, and they wanted to put me on that card. So we had another contract then, obviously with a change of date. So I believe I signed down in like December. I think the fight got leaked like the middle of December, just before Christmas, and then obviously I caught news of it just after Christmas then that he had been pulled, and then everyone caught wind of it in January. So another pullout, but at the same time, like you said, it was still a long way away from the fight. You know, it's not as frustrating as a pullout a week before or 2 weeks before. At least we had a bit of time to not panic and get someone in with a bit of notice this time.
No, exactly. That's what I'm gonna say. At least they gave you like at least 3 months advance instead of doing it like the week before.
Yeah,
And
like usual.
like usual. And we're also making progress. Let's see, last time there was 3 different opponents, and then knock on wood, it's only this time it's only 2 opponents. So hopefully, again, it sticks this way. We're only hoping this way. That's progress in the game. But some say it's also a compliment by the Nurmagomedovs that they're pulling out. It's like a sign of respect.
That's how I'm taking it anyway. I'm not getting offended by it or frustrated anymore. I've learned, especially in this game, with the amount of names and pullouts I've had to deal with, especially since signing for the UFC. You know, I don't let myself get frustrated anymore by things I can't control. So I just take it as a compliment now, or
Yes.
you know, I either take it in my head, look, they're injured, there's nothing that can be done about it, or if they're pulling out for other reasons, then it's a compliment to me. So whatever it is, I try not to get frustrated about it anymore.
A little nick or bruise, like, no, I don't want to deal with it. It's not worth it. This guy's too good. We don't want to go. We don't want to deal with that. Don't want to take the risk.
That's it. Yeah, that's what I'm telling everyone anyway.
That's the way you can't look at it. But it's not like Valiev is anyone to really, look bat your eye against. He's a tough motherfucker. So, like, what's the most exciting thing you're, other than being in front of the crowd? Like, what are you looking forward to most in this fight?
Just the way he brings it. You know, he's not a guy that I'm gonna have to chase. He's not a guy that is gonna necessarily fight in terms of try and hold me down and steal rounds. You know, he's going to come and bring the fight just like I do. You know, he's not going to point score or play a tactical game. I don't think, anyway, he doesn't tend. You know, obviously he's got his strengths and his tactics that undoubtedly he's going to try and fight towards and in that way. But you know, he's still going to bring the fight. He's going to meet me head on, sort of meet fire with fire kind of thing, and that's what I enjoy. It adds a little bit extra sort of anticipation, and it adds, you know, when someone like me who's going to look for the finish and someone like him who's going to look for the finish meet, the crowd level just raises up again another notch. And then to be involved in a fight where the crowd are going absolutely bonkers, it's just something I can't wait to do. I mean, the fact that I could be fighting a guy who's going to try and hold me on the cage for 3 rounds, and I've been excited to get out in front of an hometown crowd, let alone a guy who's going to come and try and knock my block off. So it's definitely going to be an exciting fight in terms of his style versus my style. Is definitely something that I assume the UFC are looking at in terms of they know by putting two styles like this together that it's going to create an exciting fight, and that's exactly what they're going to want for their first show back in the UK.
They know what they're doing with their matchmaking. That's one thing. At the end of the day, they are very good at their matchmaking. But I think the big thing too is, like, I know after your last fight, you're making a call for a ranked fighter, even though at the beginning you weren't for sure who you wanted to call it. But then you recovered, made some good call outs right after. But obviously, you didn't get the ranked fighter, but you got Umar, who was probably the next best thing. And then Valiev, you could also make the case, is also damn near the next best thing to getting a ranked fighter. So at least you're making that, you're getting towards that. You're getting those fights that you've been wanting for the past, let's say, like a year almost, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them, like, not many people know this, and I won't like mention no names, but I got offered an opponent for January who was ranked, but obviously with the injury and stuff like that, I didn't actually train any sort of martial arts or MMA until the beginning of December. So to sort of accept the fight like the second or third week of January, which was 5 weeks away, it wouldn't have been the right thing to do in terms of, like, I'm always fit and I'm always in the gym, and I was running and doing what I could, but I wouldn't have been sharp enough to fight a guy of that level, you know, a top 15 guy in the world. So, like you said, Timur is the next best thing. He's in a very similar spot to me. You know, he's calling for these guys who are ranked. He's got this hype around his name, comes from a great gym, he's got a great rep, or very much like myself. So I think the UFC have put this one together. It's almost a case of, look, whoever wins this one, you're going to move on to bigger and better things. And whoever loses this one, it's not going to be no real knock on anyone because of the level of the person we're both fighting. But obviously, ultimately, I'm going to need to take him out so that I can move on to those guys in the rankings and start to make a name for myself against the big dogs.
Well, I'm not gonna put, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. No pressure or anything. There are other things in the world. He is Russian. You might be fighting for Ukraine, but I'm just saying that. You're not hearing that from me, but you might be doing that. Let's go back to that last fight though, and kind of talking about that recovery. True, badass motherfucker. Give him the BAMF title. Fought with the shoulder, the torn bicep, and the broken thumb. How close were you to pulling out of that?
To be honest, if my coaches had that their way, the fight would never have happened. But being the stubborn fucker I am, I not so much put my foot down. I may or may not have blagged them a little bit in terms of how the shoulder was feeling. So, like to give it some context, I think it was around about maybe 4 or 5 days before we were flying out to Vegas. I got injured in a wrestling practice, and straight away I panicked. I thought I fucking popped my shoulder out. Luckily, my wrestling coach Carl is a qualified physio as well, so he looked at it and said, "Look, it's not popped. Go and get an X-ray and see if it's cracked." So the X-ray came back fine. I was just in a lot of pain. Couldn't lift my arm. Couldn't throw a punch. Obviously, couldn't wrestle or grapple. So my coach was like, "Look, you need to pull out." And I was like, "No." I was like, "Give me a couple of days. Let me rest it, and I think it might be all right." So it was about 2 days before we was flying, and my old man and Carl were like, "Right, how was it feeling?" Like, honestly, and I just kind of played it down. I was like, "Oh, it's still sore, but it's getting a little bit better. I think I'll be all right once I'm out there." And I was sort of sold it to him that the PI's got like this world class treatment room, and they've got all these guys who are specialists. I'm like, "It'll be fine, it'll be fine." And I mean, we got out there, and I knew that once we was out there was nothing they could do. There was no way they were going to make me pull out once we touched down in Vegas. So, I mean, for like the week or 10 days that we were out in Vegas, I didn't throw a punch. I literally kicked the kick shield and run on the treadmill, and that's all I done for 10 days. Didn't throw a jab or a left hook until I actually obviously went in the cage. And then obviously adrenaline got me through the first couple of minutes. Then I started to feel it a little bit. Then I broke my thumb and I think I broke my thumb because I was throwing my punches like almost limp arm because the shoulder was in so much pain. And I ended up breaking my thumb. So it was like, right, well, we're here now. We got 2 rounds to go. So either suck it up and get on with it, or you're going to have to bitch out live on TV and throw in a towel. And that was never going to happen. So I sucked it up and got on with it. But it's not something I'll be in a rush to do again. But, it'll definitely make an interesting chapter if I ever write a book in a couple of years to come.
Yeah, that definitely threw a wrench in the plans. Probably, fucking up. Not just having the shoulder, the bicep. Then you also break your thumb. Like everything that could have gone wrong. When Gronk and you ever come, how long did it take you though to manage the pain in the shoulder? Like how long did it take you like to also like hide it that much pain in your shoulder and bicep?
It was like after the fight, it was a solid 8-10 weeks. I couldn't do a press up, a bench press. Still couldn't throw a left hand tidy. Thankfully, I got put onto a really good physio who not only obviously give it treatment, but give me a lot of strength and exercising. And like, I couldn't grapple, couldn't wrestle, couldn't strike. So all I did for 8 weeks was run and sort of strengthen his shoulder up. And obviously, thankfully now that when I initially went back to training, it was a little, not pain, but I could feel it was weak. I could feel it hadn't been used and it still wasn't 100%. But thankfully, I kept that over the Christmas period and obviously going into January. I mean, I've been sparring now in camp, I think, about 8 weeks. So it is feeling great. I can't complain. I can hand on heart say that it's back where it needs to be. And to tell you the truth, me breaking my thumb was probably a blessing in disguise because I was in a cast on my left arm, which was the same arm as the shoulder, which meant that I couldn't do anything. I know for a fact if I didn't have that cast on, I'd be rushing back and telling myself that it was feeling a lot better than it was just so I could train. Whereas I was in a cast for 6 weeks or 8 weeks, I think it was. So I had no choice to do anything other than just to rest it. So in the long run, it worked out very well.
Were you still be able to twitch, still able to play duty?
It was tough, I gotta be honest. Like because the thumb was broke, it was like stiff out here. So I had to almost I basically had to hold the controller like this and use my like index finger down on the analog. It definitely affected my my KD for a couple of weeks. But
at least that means when you came back, though, at least ease your lobbies. Just fucking run through them.
That's it. Yeah. So I got carried for a couple of weeks, but with it, once the cast was off, it was what's it called, business as usual. Then on Warzone.
Back to taking names, taking them out, getting dubs, fat dubs. No big deal. I got a dub yesterday. No big deal whatsoever. But how hard is it when you're doing your Twitch streams? Like when you have that injury, how hard is it to like not let that slip?
Yeah, it was tough. Like because obviously people knew I was injured, so that's all they want to ask you about is. I was the shoulder, I was the thumb, and it's like, yeah, it's coming on good, And then in the back of my head, I'm thinking it's fucking still a long way away from where I need it to be. But look, I'm just grateful for the support, if anything, to be honest, to know that there's so many people out there that were not concerned, but just generally wanted me to heal up. I think a lot of people probably would have liked to see me fight again last year, coming off like such a dominant win, and then obviously when I came out afterwards and said that. It was a great win, but to do it with one arm, I think made people look at it and sort of put it on this pedestal even higher than what I did. So it's a shame not to be able to get out on it, but I could feel that it was a lot of love. I could feel that a lot of my fans and friends and supporters not were concerned, but generally wanted to make sure that I was right before I had a couple of messages, to be honest, telling me, make sure you don't fucking do that shit again.
I bet there's people who bet on you to win by like finish. They're like, dude, what the fuck? Why didn't you finish that arm triangle? Which I want to ask you.
My friend bet on me. I think he put like £100 on me to win by first round submission, and he said you had him in the arm triangle, and he said I was going fucking absolutely nuts. He said, and then the next one I do, you let go and stood back up, and he was like, something's not right here. What's he doing that for? And I was like, yeah, apologies for that one. Like, hopefully next time I can make him a bit of money back.
I figured something was wrong when you didn't finish it, which makes my next question is, I heard that guy was spitting shit when you guys were in the octagon. Do you think was he just talking shit because he couldn't finish him? Or like, well, I heard you couldn't even understand him, could you?
No, I didn't have a clue what he was saying. It was more so on the feet. Like, I was catching him with shots, like leg kicks and jabs and straight rights in the first round and a half, and he had a lot to say, and he was talking and talking and talking. But then obviously, as the fight was going on, I was catching him, and I could see the wear and tear. Like I could see that his leg was starting to go. I could see he couldn't balance on his leg, which was making it easier to catch him with the hands. And the more I was catching him I hit him with like 2 or 3 shots, and I seen his eyes roll a little bit. But again, I didn't want to like pounce on him because I only had one arm. So I thought, when you're I think he's like a Ukrainian national wrestling champion. So last thing I wanted to do was to go for the kill and him grab hold of me and get me in a bad spot, and I can't get out because I've got one arm. So the more the fight went on and the more I started to take over, the less he had to say. But yeah, he was a tough guy. Like, credit where it's due. He was a tough fuck guy. Like a lot of people would have been taking them shots and looked for a way out. Whereas he didn't. He kept marching forward the whole fight. It was just a case of, I think I was just too good for him skill wise. I think if toughness was there, it was just skill wise I was on a different level to him.
Exactly, which is why, again, you were prospect of the year. And like, I want to move on and kind of talk about it. People are now starting to take notice. Not only people are taking notice, you're getting on bigger shows, things like that. For instance, you're on the Ariel Helwani show. Were you just shitting bricks when he started to pull out that picture of you from way back in the day?
Do you know what? I had a feeling it was coming, right? Because Ariel works with a guy called Pete Carroll, who I know really well. He's an Irish guy. He interviewed me a ton of times on Cage Warriors. He's interviewed me when I've been in the UFC. We tried to set something up for this camp, but COVID out in Ireland prevented it. And he's a good guy, Pete. Me and him get on very well. We chat well, and he's found. I don't know where the fuck he found this picture from, but he's found it before and he's rinsed me over Twitter on it. I just had a feeling. I just had this little feeling, and as soon as he said one little thing here, I thought, I know what's coming here now. The fucking dreaded prom picture is about to be brought up in front of millions, and lo and behold, there it was in all of his glory. So it's definitely going to be one of them pictures in there that I take to the grave. Like a couple of my mates got it saved on their Facebook as like they at one stage they found it and they made it their profile picture. And every year, you get the memories on Facebook. So like this day 4 years ago, every single year it comes around, and then my birthday comes and they all start sharing it again for my birthday. So that'll definitely haunt me, that one, till the day I die.
We all got those pictures. Everyone has those pictures. That doesn't matter what happens. Your friends are always going to give you shit for the rest of your life, and you can never live them down. But now here's kind of another question. So it's like, well, obviously it's another question. No shit, you're on a podcast. But what was kind of the cooler moment? Was it going on that show or having Michael Bisping call you like kind of compare you to GSP?
Yeah, definitely Bisping. I've been like, I'm such a people, because I'm so young, people don't understand like how long I've been into MMA. But like, I remember watching Bisping on the Ultimate Fighter live, like not live, but every week. And this was before he was the champion, before he was who he was. You just remember him and Ross Poynton being on the Ultimate Fighter series, and me and my old man rooting for him because they were two British guys. And to have him commentate on my fights is mad enough in itself, and you're him, speak so highly of me. But then obviously to compare me to someone like GSP, who again is another guy I grew up as a teenager watching and trying to base my style around, is just the ultimate praise. It's something that meant the world to me. And when I first got told about it straight after the fight, it didn't really settle in, and I couldn't really take it in. So I hadn't watched the fight. I was in so much pain. Whereas I go back at it now and think, in terms of compliments, they don't get much bigger than that.
No, it doesn't. And so I know last time we talked, I asked you it was right before Leon fought Nate. I said, who do you want to win? And you picked Nate. Now, when Bisping fought GSP, who are you cheering for?
It was one of them. I was on the fence because I was such a GSP fanboy. It's hard for me to root against him, but this was Bisping. He was the first ever British champion, and this fight obviously, was the biggest fight of his career against one of the greatest of all time. And he'd already took out Anderson Silva, who's considered, the other guy who you look at when you call the GOAT. So if he could have took GSP out as well, that would have put him in such. He's in high regard now anyway. It's not like Bisping needed that fight to cement his legacy or anything. But it was just like, how do you know? I don't think I've ever rooted against Michael Bisping, and I never will. Like wherever he seemed to have beef with over the years, I tend to take the beef on personally myself as well. So to hear that he's, he knows who I am, and he's obviously not a supporter, but he thinks highly of me, it means the world. So I obviously had to go for Bisping on that one. But if GSP fights again and it's not Bisping, I'll be back on the GSP train.
Hell yeah, love to hear it. So, and then another thing too is, I kind of said it a minute ago, was the Leon and Nate thing. That could not have gone better if you're from the UK, if you're a Diaz fan, because Leon won, he got the dub. Then in the last, minute or so, Diaz rocks him. Like, if you're a Diaz fan, like that's got to be the perfect result for everything, right?
Especially a UK Diaz fan like me. Like, you can't like not root for Leon as well, because we won British champions, and I'm a big Leon Edwards fan. I remember watching Leon live as a kid on an amateur show up in Birmingham. I think he was still an amateur, and I remember thinking, fuck me, he's going to be good. And, look at him now, he's going on to fight Kamaru Usman. So, yeah, it was a great result. Leon ultimately got the job done, but Nate nearly did it, nearly brought in a bit of Diaz magic at the end. So it was great viewing. Me and my brother-in-law were sat in my front room watching it the next morning. And we were just, obviously we didn't know the result, and it was like we were just both talking about how good Leon is and how technically good he is, and like we're in awe pretty much about how easy he made it look. And then 30 seconds to go, he lands that fucking straight left, and the pair of us are like, what is going on? We're up on our feet screaming at the TV. But yeah, what a fight. And like you said, it couldn't have worked out any better, because it's done nothing to Nate sort of stop, and now Leon's going to go on and fight for the belt. So you can't fault that either.
Seems like the dog agrees too.
Yeah, so, the dog's a big Nate Diaz fan as well, as you can tell.
So this is my last question before we move on to the intern segment. So last time we talked, this was before Caldera and Rebirth came out. Are you fans of the new maps?
Yeah, I to be honest, I don't play Rebirth. Like, in my opinion, it's child's play. It's what you should be playing if you're like 14. So I'm strictly Caldera, big map, and in all honesty, I can't get off it. Like, I've got a PC now. I bought a gaming PC, and I've spent all this money on this PC, and I've bought like 10 PC games, and I play them all for a week, and then an update comes out on Warzone, and I'm straight back on the train. Like, I literally cannot. I had to peel myself off it just now for the interview. Like, so that should give you guys some high praise that I've managed to peel myself off Warzone an hour early before training to come do an interview. I had to come do the podcast.
I love it, love it. No, I'm the same way. I love Caldera. I know people give it shit. I like it. I like the jungle aspect of it. I just like the new map. I'm a big fan of it. I know that's not the popular opinion for some
I'm just
people,
glad
but
they got rid of fucking
yeah.
Krampus, though, because
Oh,
that was
he was so actually. I started to like Krampus at the end of it because
oh,
like it was just one
I
of those
liked
things.
it
Because
like the
he'd
first.
kill the other team too.
It was a nice novelty. It was a good novelty for 2 weeks, and then every fucking time we get to the final circle, and along he comes, the fat fucker, and just starts attacking people, like attacking me usually. And then that's how you end up fucking losing.
So you're on PC. Did he just stand like this too with you, where he was just like kind of like in the T position, just kind of like floating at you and floating
Yeah,
away?
giving your position away as well to everyone. Because like we used to do, you look across the map, and you're like, fucking has Krampus over there. He said, there's another team that's going to fuck him up. Whereas, now he's gone, it's a lot more peaceful. I gotta be honest. Like, it's a lot less me wanting to pick the screen up and throw it now that Krampus is off the game.
There's nothing worse than being in the top 10, top 5. You're like in the couple of last circles, and then all of a sudden you hear like, "Urgh!" and you're like, "Oh god damn it!"
Irritating the life out of you.
So as I said, my intern here hasn't spoke. I didn't even tell you the segment. So the way this segment works is he's going to ask you a series of 5 questions. If you've ever wanted to tell a reporter their question sucked and you just don't want to do it, this is your opportunity to do that. So if you like the question, we move on to the next. If you don't like the question, we wrap it up. We send them to class. All right.
Am I answering the question as well? Yeah.
Only if you like it.
Oh, yeah,
Only if you like it.
Only if you like it.
Yeah.
If you think it's stupid as hell, just tell me to piss
and
off.
then we'll wrap up and
we'll go on our merry way. All right, yeah. So, question 1: where would you like to fight that you haven't fought yet before, and what's your reason behind that?
Well, it's a good question, firstly, so I will answer it.
Thank you. Yeah.
There's 2 main ones for me. Obviously, Madison Square Garden, because it's such an iconic arena. So many big fights, talking like Muhammad Ali, Conor McGregor, all these, Masvidal and Diaz, all these big names, all these big fights. So it'd be great to be able to experience and be in that actual arena as a competitor, not just as someone, watching the fights. And I'd like to fight in Japan as well. I think it's called the Tokyo Dome, where they used to have Pride. Just because I remember growing up, my old man loved Pride, and all we used to watch, like every time a Pride had come out, he'd have it, and we'd watch it, and then we'd see like 50, 60,000 people there, and I just remember thinking, "Carl, imagine fighting." And the way the Japanese fans are, they're like very different to the UK and the American, just like almost like dead silence in there, and then you see a transition or a good shot, and they like applaud it, and it's literally like they sort of treat the fighters out there like they're superstars. People like Rampage and Fado and Shogun, they can't walk down the street in Japan without getting swarmed. So that's somewhere else I'd love to fight. Obviously Wales as well, but technically I've already fought in Wales, so that one's in the back pocket as well. But obviously in terms of like iconic venues, it's Madison Square Garden and Japan.
Well, we'll get the Wales main event later down. Like that's
absolutely. Got to get the main event in the homeland, kind of thing.
Exactly.
All right,
number 2.
Moving on. So, when you're not training or like streaming on Twitch, what's your favorite thing to do in your downtime, other than like playing COD or all that fun stuff?
Other than gaming is walking walking my dogs. Like as you can hear, they're very vocal and very annoying. And they got a lot of energy. So for little dogs, they got a lot of energy. So I like to get them out as regular as possible. To be honest, it's therapeutic for me as well. Like my life's so busy and fast to sort of just leave the phone and everything in the house and take the dogs up the mountain or take them down the path by me for an hour or so. It just sort of helps me relax and just enjoy seeing them run riot outside rather than in my house and wrecking the place. So that's especially on the weekends, like when I got a bit more spare time, take them out or take them different places. I'm a proper dog dad, to be honest. So that apart from obviously geeking it out on the PC, is taking the dogs out.
There really is nothing better than a good walk with the dogs.
As long as they're behaving.
So
sometimes they can sometimes they can be little fuckers on the walk as well, like trying to get out of their league. They got to go and see every single dog and every single person they see. They can't turn a blind eye to anything. So as long as they're playing ball, you can't beat it.
It's also a humanizing thing too. Like it relaxes you. Like let's say, like for instance, like the week of the fight, like you walk them on that Monday or Tuesday or whatever. Like that's got to be just takes your mind completely off the fight.
That's it. That's exactly it. Sometimes chuck a podcast on or a bit of music. and just forget about the worries of the world and the worries of life, and just focus on running them out a little bit. And that's what I love it for, to be honest. It, like you say, it just gives me that little mental break more than anything.
Yeah.
Unless they're causing shit.
Also, yeah. And sometimes it isn't really that fun picking up after them, but like
that's
part of the job.
At least it's small, small little pebblets. So it's not like like a big dog where it's just like.
Oh, you'd be surprised. You fucking be surprised for little dogs.
Oh no,
they do a lot of shit. Let me tell you, and not fucking small ones either. That's when I thought, they're little dogs, not a lot of mess. It's easy. They're easy to deal with. I probably couldn't have been more wrong.
That's what we thought when we got our dog, and it's like 9 years down the road now. It's like, what were we thinking? That is not small. Like it's shocking, but yeah. Moving on. Question number 3. We were talking about COD earlier and all that fun stuff, but are there any other games you really like to play other than COD? Any sports games, any other shooting games, racing games?
I used to play a lot of GTA. I haven't played that so much because they done us dirty, to be honest. I was I had a mental good level, good guns, good cars, and I jumped the PC and they want me to start again. So I'm almost on a protest, to be honest. I'm pretty much refusing to go back on there. But I do like the survival games. I've been playing a bit of Dying Light 2 have just come out, so I like.
Oh yeah.
If I got a long on the weekends, where I got a good couple of hours where with COD you can jump on here for an hour or two, and with Dying Light you're on there 6-7 hours, and next thing you know you're like, fucking I better get something done today. So Dying Light 2 and what's the other one called? It's quite Dead Side, I think. Dead Sided or something like that. It's a PC game and it's very similar to Dying Light 2 minus the zombies. You just got to build a base and keep your food and drink up and make sure fucking other people who are higher levels and who don't come fuck you up pretty much. So
is that the one that's all over TikTok and stuff where it's they're you can hear you have your microphone on and you can hear everyone else no matter what? Is that what that is?
So
damn.
You get when people are within a certain range of you, you can start to hear them on your headset. If you grab a certain radio, you can start to hear them, and obviously you can hear fucking sometimes they're plotting oh come on, we're gonna go and smash that base up, and you're like, oh fuck, I'm stuck in the base. Level 2 shit guns, bringing the boys, quick, get on fast. I'm in a bit of trouble. I like the survival kind of stuff. Obviously when I got a bit more time, but when it's a quick blast, it's usually Warzone.
Fair enough. All right, question number 4. Hopping back to stuff related to the cage and all that fun stuff. What's your wildest experience with a fan?
Wildest experience with a fan? Let me have a think on that one, because to be honest, when I used to fight in Cage Warriors, obviously I was always on the main card, which is 9 PM, and I also had a couple of main events. So I always used to like to go out and watch the fights and sort of, just taking the atmosphere, to be honest. A lot of my teammates would obviously fight on the undercard and stuff like that. So I never like to be cooped up out the back in the change room. I used to enjoy going out, and there's a couple of times I've been out there and I've had a fan who's pissed up, talking shit to me for half hour and can't get rid of him. But he's not so much the wildest story. He's not so much a fan, but he's my friend. And basically, I don't know if you've seen online, but a lot of people have got Jack Shows on Fire tattooed on them. It started off on a Boys All Day. All my mates used to sing Jack Shows on Fire at my fights, and they all started getting it tattooed. Well, my friend Jasper, he's a bit of a fucking loose cannon, to say the least. And just out of the blue one day, he sends me a picture. So everyone who's got this tattoo, it's they've chose the font and made it look pretty, and I've sort of integrated it as part of a sleeve or a piece. Well, no, not Jasper. He decided to shave the side of his head and have a foot, not just the words, but the full on the logo tattooed on the side of his skull. So he's literally got Jack Shows on Fire tattooed. I mean, it's literally as big. It's not it's as big as the side of his head, tattooed on his. I'll try and find a picture. But that's probably the wildest. I don't think that'll ever be topped in terms of looking at it thinking, what the fuck? So I remember
that's incredible.
It was a week after one of my fights, and I was out celebrating with a couple of my mates, and I just had this text come through, and it was like, "What do you think of this?" And I just remember my first reaction being like, "Is that real?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, well, you're going to have a T-shirt or something off me because that's fucking incredible.
Oh, yeah.
All
You
right.
can only wish to have a friend who would do something like that after some.
I think there's about
big
20
first
people now. There's actually about 20 people with Jack shows on fire tattooed on them. But obviously
That's
Jasper
awesome.
not only had to outdo everyone before him, but had to make sure no one after him was going to outdo him either. So yeah, he's got half a life now. Big Jack shows on fire.
I think the only thing that would top that, even though you won't be able to see, you rarely be able to see, is if they got it like on both ass cheeks, like they got it spread across the
Yeah.
cheeks.
Spread across the both.
Yeah.
Like it's a little tramp stamp kind of thing.
Or it could be so big it's like on the cheeks too, but it comes up like a tramp stamp. You don't see the full thing, and it's like you have to pull your ass down like for a mooning just to see the full tattoo. That would be pretty fried. That'd be pretty fried. All right, last question.
All right, so let's hypothetical scenario here. You're coming out of the cage, massive win. What's the first thing on your mind when you're heading out and what do you want to do first after that big win?
First thing on my mind every time after I come out of the cage, obviously, ring my missus and my mother because I know that they're extremely stressed. Like they fucking hate me fighting. But other than that, food. It's always the first thing on my mind is food, and usually a lot of it as well. So straight back to. I mean, they used to have the green room, obviously, like after the fights, you go there and watch the rest of the fights. But since we've been like isolating, it's straight back to the room, straight in the fridge, and then straight on the phone to pick something else like and stuff my face with. That's always first. Apart from calling my mother and my missus, it's the next focus is on getting fat for a couple of days.
Oh yeah!
All right.
I mean, yeah.
Although this fight, we've actually gone after party.
I was gonna say, how do you guys plan after parties already before the fights are even like happening?
I think it's because my manager also manages Paddy as well, and he's fucking said Paddy's like this big superstar now, and he was like, "Oh, would he be interested in an after party?" And I was like, I can take or leave an after party, but all my mates are going to London. I know they like to party a little bit, so I was like, yeah, go on, I'll do it just so we got somewhere where I can go and see everyone after. And yeah, we got an after party, so no doubt, if you don't mind being surrounded by those from the Welsh valleys and a shitload of Scousers, then that's definitely going to be the place to be, I think, after the fights.
A lot of goose. I'm assuming a lot of goose.
Barstool experience.
Yeah,
if you're an American coming over to watch, that's definitely an experience that you want to be part of. I expect one that you probably one a little bit different to what you've ever been used to before.
All right. So I know you got training here coming up in a second, so let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. So as you said, big fight. I think you're the featured prelim bout, if I'm correct on that. Just below the main card, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of fucking, I don't know, like some people are showing me pictures of on the main card, then I'm the headline of the prelims, but we'll find out fight week, whatever. I don't care where I fight, to be honest. I don't care. The crowd will be in there from the start with the UK, I know that, from the first fight. So as long as I'm on the card, I couldn't give a fuck way too.
Exactly. It's not like the Americans. It actually matters here in America where you're at if you want to get the crowd experience. But anyway, fight with Valiev. What should we expect on fight day?
You should expect a very high-paced fight. Two guys coming to finish. It's not going to be one to be missed. But you can also expect a Jack Shaw finish. No more decisions. No more fighting with one arm. I'm healthy. I'm fit. I'm rearing to get in there, put on a show, and get a finish for all my friends and family and supporters.
Love to hear it. So for us, for Jack Shore, we're out. See you guys. That was a great conversation with our man Jack, one of my favorites to talk to, friend of the program, recurring guest. But we have some bad news. I'd like to hold a moment of silence for something that just really saddens my heart and hearts around the world. Greg Hardy has officially not been retained by the UFC. So let's go ahead and give a moment of silence for Greg Hardy's UFC career. Okay.
There we go.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's do our winners and losers for the week. Then we'll go on into, as we said earlier, we'll go into UFC Vegas real quick. And then we're going to talk college basketball. So let's go ahead and get to our winners and losers. We have a special winners and losers this week, which we'll get to after we do our original two. But my first winner of the week are vasectomy doctors. So if you're not aware, Guys like to get if their wife or girlfriend wants their balls to get trimmed, this is the week to do it. So guys will go out, get their balls trimmed, and just watch college basketball for the entire weekend and just have some frozen peas on their sack. So
Perfect.
vasectomy doctors are going to make an absolute shitload of money this year. If you are looking to do it next year, I start booking now because they fill up pretty quickly.
Right now is like the spring break for big booty lift doctors, for vasectomy doctors. So making bank.
Yes. Exactly. This is a big plastic surgery weekend.
Yep.
Or week. Yeah. All right. Harry, your first winner.
My first winner goes to Pete Davidson. You've been calling Kanye the winner the last few weeks, as he deserves to be. Absolutely.
My winner.
But Pete got one today, and he got one in a big way with the messages that were leaked, including the photo of him in Kim's bed and telling him that he slept with Kim. So
did you see Kanye immediately also sent him a penis pic today of like a drawn penis?
No, he didn't. How can you not love this? This is the best feud going on.
It's such a stupid ass feud, but it's great.
It's so good.
Yeah, so my first loser kind of goes with my first one. It's the workforce. This is probably the least productive week of the year. I know for me it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to work. I'm trying to get all my work done before Friday, then like get a lot of the show done for Tuesday early. I don't know. It's a bad week in the workforce of the tournament this weekend. For all my UK listeners, you guys who are sticking around from the Jack Shore conversation, I'll be honest, the next 10 minutes might be a lot of stuff you guys don't know anything about. So you go ahead and just skip to the UFC Vegas saying like all the links and stuff to that are down below. So let's go ahead and get onto that. But anyway, this is a terrible week for U.S. workforce. None of us are paying attention.
No.
Beer sales though through the roof. But if you're in the workforce, this is a tough week. Same thing for school teachers. Like I remember also if I don't know if any of you have had experienced this, but if you're in Indiana, once you get to the tournament week, all the teachers just turn on the tournament during the entire Thursday and Friday. So
we did that in New Jersey too.
Yeah, that's the best. Those are the best days. So anyway, Harrison, your first loser.
Yeah, my first loser is the people who were deciding the last four in and like the seeding of those on the bubble, because like Michigan over Indiana for the 11 seed, bullshit, absolute bullshit.
Yeah, it's what I'm pretty sure what they did. IU would not have been a first in if it wasn't for Richmond winning the conference championship. But still, it's bullshit that Michigan's in easy.
I mean, what,
they're 17, not even that. They're 17-14. They're getting rewarded for their strength of schedule, which they didn't even win that many games in the first place. They just play tough teams. So I don't get it. It's kind of whatever. They're letting a terrorist like Juwan Howard just get in there naturally. So
they want the controversy because who knows, he might punch another coach.
He might be out of the job. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. Also, sorry if I'm looking at my phone. Like we're recording this Monday before the first four, and like this is NFL free agency is kind of going crazy. So sorry if either of us are looking at our phones. Yeah, exactly. Or I'm waiting for my quarterback to get announced.
Yeah.
So that might have breaking news in the middle of the show.
That'll
so
be
we'll
fun.
see. Stay tuned. My heart could break too. Like that's the other fun part. I could see a quarterback that I'm not excited about.
Yeah.
Or we get Nathan Peterman, and my heart's through the roof.
Peterman.
Yep,
sir.
Yep. So winners, my last winner, Big Ben. So Tom Brady, obviously out of retirement, which we'll get to more in a second. But Big Ben, the worst thing for him was he had his retirement. You know, when he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, it's just going to be all about Big Ben.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be in a big old boot, be in his arm in a sling. He's still recovering from his injuries in the NFL. But Tom Brady retired too, but now he's unretired. So that ceremony in the Hall of Fame will be all about Big Ben, and we can really enjoy the career that was Ben Roethlisberger. So Big Ben is a massive winner over the past 24 hours.
He can eat his Roethlisberger without being looked down upon shame by Brady. So it's going to be real nice for him that weekend too.
Very nice.
So my last winner is Kirk Cousins, because in the midst of all of the Tom Brady hype and craziness that was going on yesterday, some people might have missed that Kirk Cousins got a 1-year, $35 million new contract extension. And I think people missing that is best for Kirk, because he can't get roasted to absolute hell and back, because he does not deserve that. Let's be real. No, Minnesota, what are you doing?
I don't know what they're doing either. Like their team, their defense isn't very good. Like the offense is still together, but I don't know. It's they're a team that's kind of been meddling in mediocrity.
Yeah.
Instead of like going let's just do 1 more year with Kirk and then figure it out. They're just kind of going in for an extra year of mediocrity. So,
well, that's the Minnesota Vikings way. You get a generational receiver, Randy Moss, Jay Jettas, and you waste them.
yeah, you waste them. So let's go ahead and go to our next losers. I mean, you could say the Minnesota Vikings receivers are losers, but my last loser, or before our official biggest winners and biggest losers, it's the guy who bought the Tom Brady last touchdown pass.
What a putz.
First off, what a tweet. Scott Hansen was right on it.
Yeah.
Right on it. But to be fair, he had inside info probably, so he probably had that tweet all drafted up. So Mickey Mouse tweet maybe, some saying, I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, so that guy hit that value. That ball went plummeted the minute Tom Brady hit send on that tweet. So thoughts and prayers to that guy. The guy who originally had like the 600s pass though, looking great.
Yeah,
that Bitcoin. So looking great.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I imagine that's not some like rich dude too. It's some guy who decided, screw it, I'm gonna throw all my life savings on Tommy Touchdown's last touchdown ball. And sorry.
I hope it was a rich guy. For our sake,
Yeah.
I hope it wasn't just some Boston guy who just wanted to go all in and be like, I can sell this for like $2 million in a couple of years. But so T's and P's of that guy. Harrison, your last loser.
My last loser goes to any sports channel, any sports website that ran a Thank You Tom program or article, because look how stupid you are now. You're going to have to do the same damn thing next year again. Come on.
It sucks. It sucks. But you know, I will say a lot of teams recovered very quickly. Like I know the Colts did the SpongeBob thing.
Yeah.
Where he's like, thank you very much for not coming back. And they're like, we should have watched a full episode because that's when the pineapple comes back in the SpongeBob episode. But anyway, yeah, like I thought they recovered. A lot of them recovered pretty well. But
I forget who tweeted it, but someone who works like the NFL media said, man, we ran like 18 Thank You Tom programs this year. I'm not doing this again next year. Just reuse the footage. And honestly, just reuse it.
Just reuse it. They're not winning. Okay, I don't want to ruin
No, don't even say it. Say it.
Oh, I'm going to fucking say it. They're not going to win the Super Bowl. They already lost Ali Marpet. Their line isn't going to be as good next year.
And Tom Brady always does it. That's the thing.
Matt Stafford dog walked Tom Brady.
That's true.
That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, Matt Stafford, the G. And don't forget, and never forget fucking, oh my God, I'm forgetting someone. Dak Prescott will continue to get better. The Cowboys are still looking pretty good. Yeah. I mean, they might add Bobby Wagner, which is crazy. But
that would be insane.
I mean, Carson Wentz is back in the NFC.
Yes,
People forget last time he was in the NFC, and he was completely healthy and didn't have a backup quarterback on his ankles. He did go to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, a backup quarterback with a massive schlong.
Well, So let's go ahead and move on to our biggest winners, biggest losers. I'm going to start with the biggest loser because it's America's loser, and it's Coach K. Coach K's retirement tour is not going the way he thought it would. He's lost his last game in Durham. He didn't win the ACC championship. So everything for Coach K is going wrong.
Yeah.
Cherry on top would be losing in the first round of the tournament. We'll see what happens, but he is losing everything. It's not going great.
Inject it into my veins. Hook me up to an IV with the Coach K tears.
You know what's crazy? It's like I haven't heard anyone like not on like ESPN or anything like that are like sad about Coach K's retirement tour not going well. Have you noticed that too?
Like no one feels bad for the guy.
No one feels bad. Everyone's like cool with it, unless you're like a Laker, New York Yankees fan. Like then you're probably a little sad. But
Lakers, Cowboys, Yankees, Duke.
Yeah, no one's sad about that.
No.
But so the reason I didn't want to say the winner first.
Buddy.
I just say it the way I see it. I don't agree, but he is the biggest winner this week, and it's Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. Objectively, yes, he is, because he's off scot-free now.
He's back in the NFL.
Yeah.
Don't know how long he'll be suspended, but he's back in the NFL. It's one of those things, if you know the NFL well enough, you knew he'd be back, just a matter of how and when. Yeah. He's back. T's and P's to Adam Schefter, who just got fucking roasted.
Yeah.
If you didn't see that tweet, that was funny. So, shout out though to Adam Schefter for not deleting and retrying. He just apologized for it. But yeah, Deshaun Watson, massive winner this week.
Like objectively, not condoning anything that he did. Objectively, he won. He is back in the league, and he's not facing any consequences. So. It's interesting and so funny, but Damn.
So obviously we're gonna talk a little UFC real quick. So let's go UFC Vegas 50. Then we'll talk a little UFC. I didn't watch Bellator, so it wasn't anything crazy. But anyway, UFC Vegas. Let's go ahead and give our fights of the night. I'll go first. I hate saying this one. I've now said two. I've given away 2 awards now that I hate saying. But this one goes to Marlon Moraes versus the first round. He's been finished now 3 out of the last 4 times in the first round. His cliff was just like kind of like he was kind of middling and then bam.
Mm-hmm.
Sucks to see him kind of go out like that, and like you can see it in his face. I think he retired in the octagon, laid his gloves in. For him, I hope I don't even know if he can come back from just 4 finishes in a row. And it wasn't even like he got finished in like a standing TKO. Like he went like he went stiff. So
yeah.
Nothing you can do. Marlon Moraes, still one of my favorites, but it's time. So, Harrison, your fight of the night.
So my fight of the night goes to Terrence McKinney versus Endurance because he came out hot and swinging. It looked like he was trying to finish Dober within like the first 30 seconds, and then he hit a wall.
He hit a wall. He had a massive adrenaline dump.
Yeah.
That was a special adrenaline dump. I haven't seen someone dump like that in a while. Like that was a special kind of gas.
Yeah.
I also my second fight of the night was him versus Patience. Like he was just throwing everything to every punch. And if you fight a guy like Drew Dober, like
Iron Chin,
he's an Iron Chin. Like it was impressive to see him knock him down. Like that's like Dober hasn't been knocked down in 19 fights, and McKinney's the first. But yeah, he was super aggressive. I was like before in our preview, I said you're not going to keep Dober down, and that was also accurate, especially when you gas yourself out the way he did. So he's still dangerous. McKinney will be dangerous. He just needs to tweak a couple things, maybe not be so fucking aggressive right away and go for these under 30-second knockouts and finishes. So
keep the patience. Yeah,
yes,
keep the patience.
Keep the patience.
Hold it in a little bit and wait for your moment to just bap.
That's what a lot of young fighters struggle with sometimes. But let's go ahead and move on to our performance bonuses. My runner-up again was Marlon Moraes' chin. Actually, that's not even a performance bonus. That's like an anti-performance bonus. But my real one is it's Khalil Roundtree versus Mercy. That finish was merciless. It was once he'd rocked Roberson like with the body kick. It looked like a street fight the way they were going at it.
Oh, yeah.
If Roberson didn't, he was originally looking like he was going to get up, and there was his left hook that Roundtree threw. Might have murdered Carl Roberson in the octagon. Like that was one of the most aggressive, violent finishes I've seen in a long time. Like it was just like 2 silverback gorillas just going at each other, and it was and that's I think I'd say it was kind of scary.
It was quite a spectacle. It was terrifying.
Like that body kick he threw when Roberson was on the ground was filthy. Like that, man, that had to hurt so bad.
Massive balls on that ref for stepping in between the two of them. Because if I'm just tapping him on the shoulder, going.
You have to try to like wrap up
stop.
the arms.
Yeah,
that's that was a hard finish. That was a hard time to pull off a silverback gorilla from his prey. All right, Harrison, your performance bonus.
My performance goes to Song Yadong and his combos because that 1, 2, 3, right, left, right to finish off that fight, nasty, absolutely nasty.
He has some of the quickest hands in that division. He's filthy.
He was throwing them from the gun too. I was just watching in like awe. It was fast.
It was great matchmaking.
Yeah,
it was great matchmaking. Like as I said, Marlon Moraes is kind of on the decline. Yadong's on the rise. He hasn't had a finish in a while, so that was putting up against a guy like Moraes is pretty good for that. So I don't know.
And that should boost him up through the rankings pretty fast because that was impressive. Fast and impressive.
It'll be interesting to see where he's at today as the releasing of this podcast. Right now, we record this on Monday, so we're not sure. Let's just kind of do a brief go through the card. Then we'll get into some college basketball. We'll talk a little Diego Sanchez, Kevin Lee, and some other stuff like that. So first, I mean, like going through the prelims. Biggest thing I take away, going through it, looking at it. Chris Moutinho, not UFC caliber. Finished again. Like I was kind of surprised he didn't drop, but another standing TKO. It was not pretty. It was not a pretty fight. Canetti, I'm gonna be happy to fade him in his next fight whenever he fights, but it's just Moutinho kind of stepped in late notice for the UFC, put on a fight of the night. Somehow withstanding 3 rounds of punishment from Sean O'Malley. I don't know if he's going to get another fight. I hope he does, just so I can bet against him again. But shout out to my guy Chris Watino for taking that fight again. It wasn't too hot.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of finishes in this card. This is one of the best cards I've seen. But so shout out for all the prelims haven't given us a lot of finishes until towards the back end. But let's go to the main card. Pereira, the guy against Bruno Silva. Pereira, he's going to be a problem middleweight. He's calling out Jared Cannonier. Don't know why. I think he's just. I understand. I guess people are just calling out the top contenders so they can fight for the title quicker. Maybe call it like a Brad Tavares, kind of like Izzy. That's kind of someone, even though he is a friend of the program. I think that'd be a smart fight because Tavares also likes to stand. He likes to swing. I think if he just continues to fight these guys that stand up, they might actually be able to match him up with Izzy. But if he fights a guy like Marvin Vettori or Whitaker, I don't know. We'll see. But he's a problem. I was a little hesitant because of his ground game, but hey, he proved me wrong.
Pulled it off.
Yeah, you could. Fuck it. Who knows? I mean, UFC likes storylines. They're gonna try to push this guy as fast as they can. Dober McKinney. I mean, we already talked enough about it.
Yeah.
I mean, Dober is one of the most exciting fighters in the UFC. Continues to deliver. McKinney's same way. He will be. McKinney's in and out in one round, so at least you can always look forward to that.
Yeah. Quick fights.
Yes, exactly. Always fun. So Roundtree Roberson, we've already talked about that too. First round was kind of slow. Well, it wasn't slow. I mean, they were throwing shots, but there wasn't really, a fucking murder scene in the second round. So
everything seems tame up until that second round because oh my god.
The crazy thing about Roundtree too is like there's a different version of him in every fight. So the next version of him could just be a grapple fucker. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like it's impressive how you have some of these guys like that are just kind of inconsistent from performance to performance. Maybe this is the beginning of a new era of Khalil Roundtree Jr.
Maybe more vicious, more brutal with his
maybe actually kill
back.
Someone. Yeah, maybe just kill someone.
Why not?
Accident. Like I'm not cheering for someone to die, but fuck, dude. Like if you watch that, it looked like he could have murdered him.
Sadiq Youssef throwing a kill.
Oh my god, yeah. Like that was like Ngannou was scary at heavyweight. Roundtree, the way he was throwing some of the shots, it was like that was street fight shit.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Yusuf Caceres. God, I thought Yusuf was going to be a little bit more exciting, but it is what it is. It's a good win for him. Caceres, whatever. I would love to see Topuria fight Yusuf next. We'll see. He's fighting this weekend because he was watching this fight pretty closely. He was originally slated to fight. They almost had him against Caceres or something like that. So it's within his range. Looking forward to that. We've talked enough about Song Yudong, Moraes. I mean, it's just again, his future is super bright.
Absolutely.
I want to see him against more of a grappler. Maybe do him against Marab. That would be fun.
Ooh, I would love to see that one. That would be a real fun tilt.
That would be very fun. And then the main event, Magomed Ankalaev versus Thiago Santos. Santos is in 2 straight boring main events. Please never give him a main event again until he knocks someone else out. For now, I mean, like he hasn't been the same since the John Jones fight, since he tore his ACL. Or both his ACLs, I think, if I remember correctly. He just hasn't been the same guy, and that shit just happens.
They spent basically the whole first round just sizing each other up, just standing there, bouncing back and forth. It was so boring.
Yeah, it's one of those things too, where it's like for guys that size, usually that's what. I would expect that for sometimes in those kind of situations, like when Johnny Walker fought Jamal Hill. I personally thought that's what was going to happen. So I thought Jamal was going to take a round to kind of figure him out and then going for the kill in the second round. But we never even got that in this fight.
No.
There was a couple moments. I mean, Thiago did drop Magomed, which is great to see. But
that was really cool.
That was fun. My favorite thing though about Ankalaev though is he stands and bangs, but he's a Russian who stands and bangs. He has like what's it called? He has the neck beard, but he doesn't have the. He has a little bit of a mustache connection to show that he's not going to grapple fuck you, but he has a thick neck beard to be like, I can grapple fuck you, but the connection says I'll trade.
I'll trade in the
pocket. I will trade in the pocket.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be a Habib. I'm not gonna be a Jamayev. I'm gonna be fun. I'm gonna be exhilarating in the octagon. But anyway, it was a fun card. It was a great card. But this is college basketball season.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, I do want to talk about Diego Sanchez, Kevin Lee. It was extremely Kevin Lee to blow out his ACL within the first 5 seconds. I know you didn't see it, Harry.
Oh my god!
It's Eagle FC, but he blew his knee pretty fast.
Really?
Diego Sanchez actually didn't look that bad, but it's also because Kevin Lee was fighting on one leg.
That's tough.
for 15 minutes. But Kevin Lee still looked good. Diego Sanchez has usually been pretty durable. He's kind of hard to finish. He's a tough motherfucker.
Yeah.
So is a lot of those veterans, but I don't think Kevin Lee can really do there. And then Bellator, they had some fights. Nothing really substantial that I took away from it, nor did I see. So let's move on. Let's move on to what I want to talk about. As an Indiana resident, this is my forte. This is my favorite time of the year. It's March Madness.
Let's go. Finally.
Pulling up my notes. And as I said, this guy from Indiana. I know a thing or two about college basketball. I know a thing or two about amateur sports. This is my favorite thing in the world. And no big deal. I've won 2 of the last 4 years of my bracket challenges.
Ooh.
In those other 2 years I didn't win, I was second place. So I know how to make a bracket. And so if you're not aware, here at Living Fit, we are doing a bracket challenge. So we'll link the bracket challenge below in the description or in our description also on the podcast platforms.
Yep.
But anyway, you click that, fill out your bracket to be eligible for our prizes, which are in first place, we get 3 pairs of dumbbells, 2 slam balls, a set of resistance bands, and a t-shirt. Second place gets resistance bands and a t-shirt. Then third place, you get a t-shirt. But anyway, I'm eligible for those prizes. The t-shirts are sick. I got to get them officially approved, but they're cool. They're going to be cool. It's just our logo. They're sick. Anyway, to be eligible for these prizes, though, you have to subscribe to either our YouTube channel or subscribe to the Living Fit channel. So whichever you like more of, go check that out. So let's go into our brackets. Again, as I said, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to brackets. I'm a guy from Indiana. We're gonna go over some teams like make or breaks, teams to avoid, some teams like sleepers, things like that. So the make or break teams, these are some teams that like I would never pick to win a championship, and I would never pick them to go beyond like an Elite 8 or Final Four. If you're picking these teams, I guess literally it says it the way it is, like they are gonna make your bracket or they're gonna break your bracket. The smartest way usually to deal with these teams, in my opinion, is make them go to the Sweet 16 if you really are confident in them. Or if you're super negative on them, I wouldn't pick them. So like a prime example of that this year specifically would be like in Alabama.
Yeah.
They live and die by the 3, and they have died by the 3 more often than not. But they have the caliber to beat teams like Gonzaga. They've beaten a Baylor. They've beaten really high caliber teams, but they also lost to some really bad teams. So they are extremely, extremely volatile. So for Bama, if you think that they can get past the first couple rounds, I would just go to the Sweet 16. That's my advice. I would not go further than that. Your bracket, you're more likely to win your tournament challenge having them go just to the Sweet 16. You're not missing out on that Elite 8.
Yep.
So that's just kind of my advice for that. Another team like that is kind of North Carolina.
Ooh,
North Carolina, they are good with Herbert Davis, but their offenses sometimes can be super inconsistent. They're kind of another time live and die, but they live more often than die, and they have good talent all around. They have a decent draw. I got to pull it up real quick. Let me go back to my bracket. Got to find in my North Carolina. I know they're an 8 seed. They're playing Marquette. That's a tough draw because Shaka Smart, again, for all of you who haven't watched college basketball in here, he's back. He's at Marquette. He left Texas. Fits him more personality-wise, being at a smaller school. So that's another game, another team where it's like they could go on to beat Baylor or they could just lose in the first round. So North Carolina is another big make-or-break team. And Tennessee, they're a lot of people's favorite team. I'm not that high on them myself. I think their offense is dog shit, to put it bluntly. I don't like their offense. They go on cold streaks. They're bad, very bad cold streaks. They could be up 20 points, and then they could be down 5 in about 5 or 6 minutes. That's how bad their offense can be. But their defense is very, very, very elite.
They shut down A&M yesterday, completely shut them down.
And what they've done doing that the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
They played a lot of teams that they shut down Kentucky for pretty much the entire game. Kentucky had to come back down about 20 points. So I would say those are the 3 teams. I know Tennessee, you might be listening like you're a dipshit for saying don't pick Tennessee. They're one of the hottest teams in college basketball. Yeah, it's because their offense is clicking. I don't trust their offense to be clicking for more than a week. So there's a chance they could lose in the first round. I personally don't have them losing in the first round. They're playing Longwood. But their next game, they're going to play Colorado State or Michigan. Both those teams have better offenses. Yeah, that's going to be tough. If they play Colorado State, they're fucked. Yeah. To be honest, I love
Colorado State are nice.
Roddy is a really good basketball player. He's a very good basketball player. The next 2 teams I'm going to mention, I would personally, as I've said, I watch college basketball all year. These are 2 teams that I have no trust in whatsoever. The first one is Texas. Texas
Yeah.
offense. Earlier I said Tennessee offense is bad. Texas offense is like actually really bad. They will. I think they average. If they don't average 60 points, they average less than 60 points. Their games will be like a 55, 58 game, but they have an elite defense. I'll give them that. But their draw in the first round is against Virginia Tech, and they're one of the hottest teams in college basketball. This is probably going to be one of the most popular upsets, and it's
Yeah,
for a reason.
easily.
Virginia Tech can spread the floor. They're playing the best basketball of the ACC. They're not an 11 seed. They're higher than an 11 seed. And honestly, Texas is a lot worse than a 6 seed. They've been the most overrated team all year.
It should be flip-flopped. Like
I wouldn't say flipped.
maybe not flipped,
I
but
would say it's
close.
more like I think this should be like a 7-10, maybe an 8-9 matchup.
Yeah.
But as I said, like Texas, like maybe have them win one game. There's no chance in hell they're going to beat Purdue though. And there's no
absolutely not.
Because I'd say Yale, but I like Purdue. Purdue's not going to lose game one. They're not going to go 2 years in a row of losing in the first round. As much as I hate to say it, they're not going to.
I really wish, but
I do too. And then another team you should really avoid is Ohio State. They have been plummeting of late. They are they love to blow leads. They could be up 10 points with 2 minutes left and they'll blow it. They blew it to Rutgers. They blew it to Indiana.
They blew it to us, and we always choke those close games.
Yeah, it's usually us who blows leads.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ohio State really I like Holtman. I like their team, but if they get healthy enough, they could make a run. But they've shown they've shown signs too much. I'm not being able to hold leads. And I personally would avoid them. Like if you want them, if you like them a lot, I pick them to win one game just to be safe. But I would not have them going past the Sweet 16 like at all. And that's the same thing with Texas. If you like Texas, you think they can make it, do not put them past the Sweet 16 because more than likely they're not going to get there.
I don't even have Ohio State moving on past the first round because they're coming up against Loyola.
They got Loyola.
Yeah, who's I think is a massive sleeper.
Yeah, they're always a sleeper.
They're always so
always
good. You can never count them out.
But then also neither of those two are going to beat Villanova.
No, definitely not. Nova is a basketball institution. They're always good, and they dominated their tournament.
It's a bunch of upperclassmen.
Yeah,
Villanova. That's another. I didn't say them earlier. They're a team I'm pretty damn confident will get to the Sweet 16, but
easy.
I would say they're my not getting upset 100% going to go to the Elite 8 category. But again, I do like Colorado State. They've shown some signs they'd be a pretty dangerous team. So moving on to my sleepers, one of them is like a team that I think is a sleeper to be really good. Another one's a sleeper to like potentially lose in the first round. The first one is USC. They were at one point a top 10 team. They had a bad game against UCLA recently, but UCLA is starting to play some of the best basketball they have all year. Isaiah Mobley is one of the best players in the country. Drew Peterson, very good shooter. Oh my God, Boogie Ellis is their point guard. I mean, he's super versatile. They play Miami. Miami started off hot. They filtered out. I mean, they're going to get past the first round, and they play Auburn, who's actually my team I'm regressing. I would not be shocked if they lost to Jacksonville State. The problem with Auburn is their guards are playing too much. They're not giving the ball to Jabari Smith, who's a top 3 overall pick. And their guard play has been pretty subpar. And the one thing about the tournament, it's all about guard play. I just don't trust Auburn. And I also just think USC is going to smoke them in the second round. So,
yeah.
Or technically a third round. But like those, like I really, really, really like USC. Harry, don't you said you had a sleeper, right?
Yeah. So my sleeper, again, Virginia Tech. I'm really high on them right now. They're hot. They're extremely hot coming off that ACC tournament win.
They got a great draw too. They got a great draw.
And I mean, they beat Duke, ruining Coach K's retirement tour even more, which makes me like them even more. And again, I have Duke as one of my teams to avoid. I personally think that if Michigan State pulls off the win, they're going to be beating Duke in the second round. I mean, Davidson could pull off that upset against Michigan State.
I like Davidson a lot. I like him. I forget the guy's name is like Lake or Forest or some shit, some pond or piece of nature.
Yeah.
Forest or whatever his name is. He used to play in Michigan or Michigan State or whatever. I forget the exact storyline. But also
he knows
Davidson
how to play him.
Davison really is like an 8 or 9 seed, but they lost to Richmond, who's one of the hottest teams in the country, which they're playing. A lot of these, the problem I noticed in this tournament is a lot of the hottest teams are playing each other, which I don't like. Because I had a lot of teams like, like Richmond is a team I would love to pick against anyone not named Iowa. But they're playing Iowa, it's Iowa. Yeah,
I have Iowa going to my Final Four. Like Iowa are good.
Now let's go ahead and actually talk about our Final Fours. We've kind of gone through. Well, actually, real quick, don't doubt. Gonzaga's been to the past couple Final Fours. They always make the Sweet 16. They're going to make the Elite 8. They have a good draw. UConn might be a problem though. UConn might be an issue. UConn's pretty dang good, but like them and Arizona are both they're gonna damn near sleepwalk to the Elite 8 Sweet 16. Like if I had to, I will guarantee Arizona and Gonzaga will make the Sweet 16. Like the odds should be like minus 200. Like there is no chance either of those teams don't make the Sweet 16. Yeah. Other than that, it really is a fucking toss up. Like Baylor could lose at any moment. They've been inconsistent lately, and they're hurt. They don't have a Cryer, who's their best player. Kansas, if someone shuts down Abaji, they're very vulnerable. Which actually, I'll reveal this. Like I had them losing to San Diego State. San Diego has some of the best. They had some of the best defense in the country. And so yeah, that's what I got for that. But anyway, let's go into our Final Fours. I'm not going to use our shows, so I'll just reveal what we had for the show. There was a lot of bias in this one.
Oh, absolutely.
We had IU, Gonzaga, Arizona, and USC. That's not my actual Final Four.
We're getting that sixth banner, baby.
We're getting that sixth. God, maybe in a couple years. But anyway, my Final Four is Gonzaga, Kentucky, Arizona, and USC. With Gonzaga and Arizona playing in the championship, we get that coach versus former coach mentality, and Gonzaga wins it all, finally.
So that's pretty funny. I have Gonzaga, Baylor, Arizona, Iowa, and I also have Gonzaga, Arizona in the final, with Gonzaga winning, and I predicted 79-73 in a fun game.
So. Yeah, I haven't picked my final score yet, but I have that. It's just it's hard to pick against Gonzaga. The one issue I have found with Arizona, they did to pick up an injury, and I cannot remember his name, but he is a pretty important player to the team. Because like a lot of their names are end like N or whatever. So there's like 4 guys and last name is like N or whatever. But anyway, though that's one issue. If they play I like TCU a lot, and they play them. They'll probably play them in the second round. They can get past them. They can start to get healthy. They'll be fine. But if that injury kind of resonates when they play potentially Illinois or Houston, could run into some issues. But but if they get to Villanova and like the Elite 8, they should be healthy, and I think they'll be fine. But if Villanova upsets Arizona, I wouldn't be shocked at all. Yeah. But what I hate about Villanova, they play way too much iso ball, and you cannot play iso ball all throughout the tournament. Maybe they'll turn the switch, but I just don't trust it. But yeah, Gonzaga, Kentucky, Arizona, USC is who I got. Just another thing, don't pick Duke.
No, absolutely not. Stay away from Duke.
Stay away from Duke. They're not good. That's like my lasting note for the tournament. Duke sucks. They're not that good.
If Duke loses round 1 to CSU Fullerton,
they're not going to lose to Fullerton. They're not going to lose to Fullerton.
But imagine. Everyone would have the best field day on Twitter and every social media site.
Would you rather Coach K lose then or get dog walked by Tom Izzo?
I don't want to give Tom Izzo the satisfaction of beating Coach K.
But he's owned game. Coach K his entire career.
He has, but it's Tom Izzo. You know?
Yeah.
I'd rather
that's
see.
True, that's true.
I'd rather see Davidson dog walk Duke in the second round. I think that would be fun as hell.
Well, that's what I have. Part of my brackets. Part of it's hopeful in me. Part of it's also just the cynic in me. But no, I have my bracket. Who's your biggest upset?
My biggest upset.
Your biggest upset.
So I put this. I didn't put it the way I wanted to on my bracket, but in my mind, I have Vermont over Arkansas.
Oh, I have that too.
Vermont, they're solid.
Arkansas is like every year, everyone's like Arkansas is going to lose in the first round. Last year it was Colgate, Arkansas. This year it's Vermont, Arkansas.
Don't sleep on those Catamounts. They're good.
Don't sleep on those Catamounts. They're good. I'm high on Vermont. My biggest one's a little bit bigger than that. I have Colgate beating Wisconsin.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Colgate's always scary in the tournament.
They're scary because again they're a 3-point shooting team. If they get hot, man, they can explode.
that
We can
Wisco
explode.
defense, not the best against threes.
No, Auburn.
I also
Auburn losing the first round wouldn't shock me. If any, actually, you know what? I'm going to give. I'm not. If Wright State beats Bryant, they might put a run on Arizona's money purely off the fact that they are hurt.
maybe.
But nah, fuck
Yeah.
that. No, I'm not saying that. No. Arizona's not gonna. Arizona's not losing. There's no chance in hell they lose.
I also like Chattanooga's odds against Illinois, to be honest.
Yeah, I do, but a part of me thinks Illinois has been so bad the past 2 years in the tournament that this year it would make sense that they finally are good. I don't trust Houston. I think I like Houston, but they're hurt. Like that's another thing. They are hurt this year. They may not make it past the first round, but I don't think they make it past Illinois.
Or Chattanooga.
We're Chattanooga. Texas Tech is for real. I like Texas Tech a lot.
They're good. They've
really
been good though. So,
my other big upset. I'm trying to think. Was there any other ones I had? I mean, I have as I said, San Diego State beating Kansas is another big one I have. I have USC beating Auburn. Obviously, I have them.
Yeah, that's a good one though.
I wanted to pick Virginia Tech beating Purdue, but just to hedge my emotional feelings, I took Purdue.
So the one thing I really
I have Davidson beating Duke. That's my biggest. That's my other big upset is Davidson over Duke.
What I really want is an IU Purdue game, and I want IU to upset Purdue, but I don't think it's going to get
that would be to go to the Final Four too.
I know
that would be. We almost got in the Big Ten tourney.
I think Bloomington would actually implode if that happens.
That's being nice. Being nice. So, anyway, so that's what we got for the bracket. Very excited. This tournament's gonna be craziness. Like, there's literally no Gonzaga's technically they are the number 1 overall seed. They will sleepwalk to a Sweet 16. But at that point, though, anything can happen. It's this tournament really is wide open. The parity between this year and last year is completely different. Like, it's not like Gonzaga Baylor. It's pretty wide open.
Anyone,
it's anyone. This is like it's been usually, but this is a year of chaos. Like, you could. I wouldn't even be surprised if you see. I wouldn't even be surprised if you have 2 or 3 and 2 seeds lose. If you have 2/3 seeds lose.
I absolutely agree. It's going to be madness, which is how they market it. Like, it's supposed to be this way. Come on. How can you not love it?
Last little notes. Just want to preface this by saying this. You're not going to get a good bracket, but what you can do is you can not hedge your bracket, but you can kind of make your bracket and kind of do like risk reward without your bracket and just kind of figure out, like, do I want to risk this team going far? Do I risk this team going far? Because again, like, if you pick a Bama to go far, it might work in your favor. But if you pick them to like lose in the first round, they go to Sweet 16, you might get fucked. But that's the way the bracket works. You got to accept you're not going to get a perfect bracket. How can you win the most points?
No one in history has ever gotten a perfect bracket, and I don't think we're going to see one anytime soon. So
no, especially not this year. Oh my gosh!
What?
Breaking news: Houston declined Indianapolis' attempt to speak with Deshaun Watson.
Oh,
wow, geez. That blows my mind. That is shocking. I didn't think Jim Irsay would ever want to actually talk to that.
Wow. All right.
Wow. All right. Bracketology. We got Chaz Kelly and Brian Kelleher on Friday. So that show will be chill. What we're gonna that's gonna be Thursday night. We're gonna try to do it like during like the 116 game, whatever. I don't know which one it is yet, but just turn us on in the background while you watch college basketball chaos. Let's have a week. See you guys.
Sure.
See you Friday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around with me all the way to the end. I just want to once again thank the sponsor of the show, Living.fit. If you're looking to better yourself, make sure you go to download the app or visit the website Living.fit today.